Alrighty, so down here on the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Zerg, hailing from Slayers. Got a little bit caught off guard in the first game. He is.
Slayers YugiOh.
Do you know
It's the
anything
face
about
that makes it for me.
Yeah. I unfortunately do not know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! I do need to ask John a bit more. John, the resident Yu-Gi-Oh! Expert.
Alright, and down here at the bottom left, we have our Blues are currently 1-up in this matchup, hailing from
Stay
Starfield.
curious.
If you actually want to ask someone, ask Wolf, because yesterday, as we were coming home, he saw a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card on the ground and would not stop talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! cards.
I see Yu-Gi-Oh! cards everywhere in Mokdong. I don't know why.
Alrighty, so we do have both these guys spawning in the bottom positions, a little bit similar to what we saw from last game. I actually kind of want to see some more early aggression coming in from Curious. It looks like we're going to have the opposite this time. We do have the gas just popping now for Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yep, and Curious is posturing to get an expansion.
So completely opposite. We'll see how Curious goes at defending.
Curious is like, this is not how you do early expansion. I'm going to show you right now.
It is. He did have that little bit of a disadvantage in the first game, and then was able to bring it back with some amazing defense.
Yep. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Is actually going to scout in the right direction, so he's going to see this expansion going up and be able to respond to it properly. Most likely that is going to be a Baneling Nest early on once again. But it is going to come down to control to see if they can, if he can get a slight lead or just keep the game even until he gets an expansion up himself.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has kept his drones on gas as he does get his speed right when the spawning pool pops. So we will most likely see some Banelings coming through from him.
Yep, and he's continuing to mine gas, so that is indicative that he is going to go for more gas-heavy units like those Banelings or Roaches later on.
Yep. The difference in this game, though, is they do not have the Overlord scouting, so they have to be a little bit more hesitant about what they're going to see. We do see that Overlord now backing off here for Yu-Gi-Oh! And there's the Baneling Nest. It's going to be the same game, different
Same
positions.
game, but reversed.
Yeah.
So it is interesting that Yu-Gi-Oh! Just moved in just enough to scout the expansion, then backed off so that Curious doesn't know exactly where he is quite yet. However, Curious is scouting, so he will find out very soon.
Both these guys are getting Zergling speed. Curious is a little bit behind, but he should be okay to defend with some nice control. We saw in the last game he does have it in him to defend this.
Very true.
Alrighty, so we have these Zerglings pushing out across the map. The Overlords are in a little bit of a weird position here for Curious over in the middle, not seeing what's going on just yet. Actually in the absolutely worst position. This Queen will not get this Overlord as he goes through, but does force it away so he doesn't see when he's going to get that expansion timing.
And we got some Banelings morphing in right here. That is going to give them the ability to move in against this expansion. A few Zerglings just fighting each other. No one has speed. Oh, speed just finished for
And just
Yu-Gi-Oh!
noticing here, Curious does not know that these Banelings are coming. He's out of vision. He does see a few of these Lings. They are slowed though, and here we go. He's... Oh.
The Banelings are going to come in, but the Spine Crawler is going to be up in time, and he does have 2 Queens here, so he should be able to defend this quite nicely. However, the Zerglings are just going to run by, so are the Banelings. A lot of Zerglings going down here for Curious. 2 Banelings still getting in. There's no Queens to defend this main base of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or of Curious. Oh, this is not good for Curious right now. None of these drones are mining. They're very scared. Oh, and 4 go down at the same time.
These Zerglings still picking off the stragglers who have been damaged quite a bit. He's just avoiding all those Spine Crawlers. The downside to this type of map, the big wide open area, and he's in a very world of hurt. He's down to 9 drones, 16 here for Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, and it just come down to that run past.
That run past was very crucial for Yu-Gi-Oh! To get his units in. It forced all the drones to move away from the main to the natural, but when they were transferring, they were very vulnerable, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Was able to get some really nice explosions off there. Some Zerglings chasing the last remaining Zerglings of Curious. Not a good position for Curious right now.
We do have a Roach Warren here for Yu-Gi-Oh! Very quickly. He realized he did a lot of damage. There's not much that Curious can really do in a counterattack form. He's also got his drone poised to make that extra expansion, getting us around on a couple of these Zerglings as well.
Curious trying to sneak in to know if that expansion is going down. He sees it. He knows that there's not going to be a super all-in one-base play quite yet.
He also comes in and sees that Roach Warren as well, so those Spine Crawlers probably going to see another 2 go down, 1 or 2. He's got a Baneling Nest down as well, but he might actually change his mind now that he sees that there's a lot of Roaches.
But it's a really nice positioning by that Baneling Nest. It does sort of help the wall in of the natural a little bit. However, his vulnerability right now is his main. All his Queens are at the natural, and if we do see another run-by like we did right early in the game, that could spell doom for Curious.
We have a few Lings poking in here to see the unit composition of Curious. But he's still, actually, he's caught up in drones very, very quickly. Just looking here at the units tab. The only thing different in this is he does have he has an extra queen and no roaches. So interestingly, he is learning very well from July. How does he keep getting these drones?
I don't know, especially since he lost so many early on. But the Banelings are going to come in here. They're going to try to take... Oh, that's a lot of Zerglings going down. 2 Banelings dead, 3 down, and the last one gets in, does some damage to the drones, but not too many going down quite yet. Drones trying to help finish off that wall in, but they do not, and they send back to mine some minerals.
Yeah, he did get a couple of... he got 3 or 4 drones there, so he's going to even out a little bit. But good work by Curious defending and focusing down as many Banelings as he could. They could have been a lot more worse off. These 2 roaches now going to work on this Baneling nest. The Spine Crawler moving a little bit forward, but now it has to root itself back down, not getting as much damage on these roaches as he wants. The Spine Crawler at the back now taking a couple of hits. 3 more Banelings coming through. There are still these 2 queens focusing down these Spine Crawlers. Nicely done. That one Spine Crawler's on 4 HP. Does live though. Probably going to see a transfuse on that very shortly because we do have 72 energy on this one of these queens. Moving forward, trying to get rid of these roaches, and he's actually... Oh, he loses the queen!
That is huge.
Not what he wanted to happen right there. A little bit overzealous with that queen.
And he almost did have a transfuse on that second queen, so it would have been a lot more advantageous for him to keep that first queen back long enough to be able to heal it. But this queen is going to move out, be able to take down this Overlord, and be able to prevent the vision from these roaches. But the roaches are going to get some hits before then, but they do get surrounded by the Zerglings of Curious. Nice
work there by Curious, just baiting in those roaches, making it feel like that queen was going to go down. And he's actually back. He's actually in the lead for drones now.
Wow. I don't know how Curious is doing this, but he was really far behind early in the game, but he has almost evened it up. A little force coming in across the middle of the map right now from YugiOh. However, Curious does have a nice force that he can do a counterattack if he doesn't get caught by those Banelings.
Yeah, there are 2 Banelings in the mix here. Forces those lings back, but at the same time, we do have YugiOh coming in up the ramp here. Does see there's 3 Spine Crawlers, a 4th one going down as well. There is 6 roaches coming up this ramp. There's only 1 queen there this time. He's got to try and get rid of that. Oh, the queen a little bit too far forward. Curious did lose one very unfortunately earlier. These Banelings are trying to chase away the lings in the middle of the map.
And all that Curious is trying to do is delay YugiOh a little bit, try to get some of his tech up, get those Spine Crawlers up so they can defend.
13 drones in production just then for YugiOh. We do have a run by here for the lings straight into the main. He's put a queen in a nice position, not going to get surrounded. We've got more drones coming out for YugiOh right now as well. Oh, he's got the queen off creep.
But the battle does start at Curious as natural. The roaches are going in. They're going to take down a few of the Spine Crawlers, but not be able to get in quite yet. A lot of hurt Banelings here, but they do not want to fight against those roaches unless they absolutely have to.
1 roach does go down just then. There is no transfuse on either of these queens, and YugiOh moving forward, just trying to pick off as many units as he can.
And Curious sneaking a few Zerglings in the back of the main of YugiOh. He's going to morph them into Banelings. If he can get them at the right timing, he can go in when YugiOh is distracted and take out the entire mineral line of YugiOh.
He just needs to distract him at one point. Maybe run some lings into the natural, be forceful at the front. But no, it looks like he's going to go straight for it. Where are they going? They should be going for the mineral line. There they go. He does see it. Oh!
6 drones went down there, and he does still have 1 Baneling left. He's going to be able to take down... Nope, he's going to damage a lot of them.
He's done damage a lot. He does not have the follow-up with the lings to get in there as well, but we did see a lot of drones being pumped out for YugiOh earlier. Even with that loss, he is still on 39 drones to 33. We do have a lot of lings coming forward here. He has forced YugiOh back to be defensive yet again.
He has forced him to be defensive, but YugiOh is on a slight lead, so he is feeling comfortable to be able to get that layer up a little bit faster than Curious is. The layer finishes, the upgrades immediately start, and then we're going to see where he's going to go from here.
Yeah, this is it's very interesting. Curious was extremely behind earlier in the game, but somehow has managed to keep his drone production up, always defending those Spine Crawler positioning at the front. He's actually getting a lot of hits off on this Overlord at the front yet again. He might actually be able to kill this one. There is nothing here for YugiOh to come and damage that queen and being threatening, but there's a... Oh, whoa, what is the queen doing out here?
YugiOh does like to have his queens off creep. I don't know why. But there are a ton of Banelings in production here. He's going to be able to fight back this Zergling and Baneling force of Curious quite easily.
Well, he's actually chasing the Banelings down with the roaches, not what Curious wanted to happen. A lot of them do go down, but he's wasted a lot of those on the roaches as we do. Oh, the Banelings take out half the Zergling force. He wanted to come in and clean up the rest of these roaches.
That is a lot of Banelings still alive for YugiOh. He can start to move across the field very soon if he wants to, which he's doing right now. That's going to force a lot of defenses to be made for Curious, not what he wants. He needs to get those drones back up so he can work on the economy. Curious moving his Spine Crawler's up to a position that's a little bit better to defend.
He's getting a lot of roaches in production here now for YugiOh at the same time. We do have an infestation pit and double upgrades going to be coming very shortly for Curious. Just having a look around, he still didn't go for roaches in the last game either. We do have these banelings coming forward. Curious needs to be very careful not to waste any of these banelings on these roaches yet again. He needs to save it for the banelings at the back. A lot of these spine crawlers are on half health. We've got more roaches streaming in. Here we go. Looks like YugiOh really wants to go this down. 1, 2, 3. Oh! All of those spine crawlers go down. There are lings that follow up. There's one spine crawler back. There's 2 queens at the front, but there's so many roaches here. He's going to be very careful. Both queens going to work as best they can. A lot of these roaches are on very low health.
They are in low health, but they are surviving. If he can get the burrowed movement later on, he can bring those roaches back. But he's just going to go in for the movement now. Take out this last spine crawler. Try to take out the baneling nest. Prevent any more of those from coming in. Once he gets the banelings down, he can just stream zerglings in.
He does have a lot of zerglings in production, but a lot of these roaches are so low on health. The baneling nest goes down. Broodlings coming out. We've got more banelings coming in here from the left here for Curious. He really needs a lot more lings. So many roaches being streamed across here by YugiOh. He's focused down the queen. The banelings are coming. A nice split by YugiOh, realizing a lot of those roaches are on low health. Split them like Marines, and now he's into the mineral line. What's up? We're going to go 1-1. GG.
So they did switch up strategies there. YugiOh was able to play it quite nicely. That early run by really helped him get the lead that he needed to early on. From there, he just kind of controlled Curious throughout the entire game, just like Curious controlled him in the previous game.
Yeah, I have to give it to Curious though. He stayed in that game so long, and he somehow made... How did he get all those drones?
I don't know. They just appear. Like every minute a few drones pop out, even if you don't have the larva for them. He did do a very nice job of trying to stay in there, but YugiOh was able to get the tech lead going on, which really helped him go. So we do have Stella giving him some encouraging words. Nice job that he did last game. But he does have one more map going on right now, which will be Belcher Beach.
It's very interesting because these are 3 very large maps for ZVZ, and it's played out quite well actually. They've been pretty entertaining games, lots of back and forth, and it's going to come down to who picks the right strategy this time. Because they did switch it up. Both of those who did go for the early banelings took it out in the end, and we'll see which way he wants to go this time. This is a lot larger than the other ones in the rush distance anyway. Considering the positions they got in the last 2, this will be very different. Yeah.
But the interesting thing about ZVZ and StarCraft 2 is, like, when you look back at StarCraft Brood War, ZVZ was a lot like a coin flip or a rock, paper, scissors. You go one build, I go the other, I counter you, I win.
Yep.
StarCraft 2, it is like that again in the opening, but it's not as drastic. So you might be able to get a slight lead, but your opponent can actually come back with really nice micro, really nice positioning of the buildings, using those queens effectively. It's a lot more interesting than StarCraft 1, and I really praise Blizzard for doing a nice job with that.
Yeah, for me personally, ZVZ is probably my favorite matchup just because of the nuances of it and the very drastic changes very quickly.
Yep.
Most people disagree with me. But that's all right. So we're going to go into the game on Belcher Beach very shortly. The game has begun the countdown. We'll get into it any second. Game 3.
And this is a slightly modified version of Belcher Beach. We'll go into some of those details in a little bit as soon as we get into the game. But it has constantly been improving.